Oh, hello there. Just admiring some of my old work. 3 years ago, amid a first wave of international interest, I got dressed up as a parody hipster entrepreneur to draw attention to Germany's burgeoning startup scene. There's been some ups and downs since then, but recently the sector has made impressive leaps. We'll be taking a look at 2 success stories, but first, a few figures. 1,500 new startups were formed in the first half of 2025. That was a periodic rise of almost 10%. Some 4 billion in venture capital was invested during that period. That's an increase of close to 50%. And the size of the deals is getting bigger. In the second quarter of 2025, nearly 100 deals were worth €1 million or more. And the European Investment Bank is putting an additional €70 billion into the continent's fledgling firms. No wonder Germany now has 32 unicorns, tops in the European Union. One young company hoping to join the ranks of the unicorns one day is Miss Moneypenny Technologies. Based in Berlin, founded in 2014 by Anna Bojic, Vinhoy Lechau and Mark Lampe. Its focus is Wallet Studio, a software-as-a-service innovation that helps companies use tools like Apple Wallet and Google Wallet to better serve and connect with customers. Engagement rates are set to peak at 80%. Miss Moneypenny was boosted by seed financing of $8 million.
Well, I think in 5 years we will be firmly established as the invisible first layer, the intelligent fabric, if you will, between customers and the companies that serve them. Essentially the place where every important service begins, and that means secure and seamless guidance that makes life easier and less stressful, and that is a universal global need. So Zurich Insurance, for example, they already use us in 15 countries and we're present in many more with other clients. But our goal is to keep growing internationally and become the central solution that makes life easier, not only in those hard-to-love industries, but really everywhere customers interact.
For some background, we're joined now by Germany Trade and Invest Trend and Innovation Scout, Kiana Frank. Kiana, tell us, why do you think Miss Moneypenny is a startup to watch?
So Miss Moneypenny Technologies has a very user-centric approach. It meets the users where they already are, which is in their wallets, on their phones. There's no need to download any additional apps, no need to go through any inbox clutter, no need to get an additional login. So it's very, very user-centric. There's no friction for the users, which increases the engagement rate, has higher ROI for brands. And if you pair that with an 8 million seed funding round and a very international founder team, in this case, German and Vietnamese, you really have a startup with a true enterprise value and the potential to scale quite rapidly.
And investor interest in fintech startups is really growing, isn't it?
Yes, certainly. I think it's safe to say that established banks will certainly modernize, but they won't be the leaders of disruption. For that to happen, they need startups on board, startups that basically spark the idea, and bigger banks or corporations to scale them. Here it's really important to note that fintech is not like a single industry exclusively, but rather a feature set that's part of a plethora of industries, and that's also what makes it so interesting for VCs to watch.
And what are some other hot areas?
One other hot area would certainly be space tech. I think this year has really marked a milestone when ESA Aerospace launched their first test flight Spectrum from Norway. This really was a huge step for European access to space. And now that we have this data space stream, so to say, that has spillover effects into all kinds of other industries as well. For instance, climate tech, because we can anticipate where wildfires or droughts will happen, or agri-tech, because we can evaluate crop health, or logistics, because we can track vessels and view port congestion. So there's really a whole lot of traction happening in this sphere.
What specific advantages does Germany offer companies just starting out?
So Germany really has all ingredients in one plate. We've got outstanding talent, world-class research, and a very strong, unique industry base. And we're also a very decentralized country, meaning that this industry is scattered across the different regional states, which makes it very easy for founders to get in touch with the right decision makers and to have their ideas scale into meetings, which can scale into pilot projects quite promptly. And also Germany, I think, really offers a plethora of different federally backed startup support programs such as the D-Hub initiative, which ranges across 25 different hubs in Germany and helps startups to connect with the right decision makers in order for their ideas to scale not only nationally but internationally.
As Kiana said, one advantage to Germany is the variety of support offered to startups. Let's check that out. Berlin and Munich are the undisputed startup capitals at present. But there are 25 D-hubs spread all across Germany. They specialize in every sector under the sun, from maritime logistics in Hamburg to cybersecurity in Darmstadt. D-hubs are state-supported networks aimed at driving digital innovation in Germany. Among other things, by connecting startups with the partners they need. One company thriving outside the biggest cities is Hydronauten. It's a spin-out from the University of Rostock in the northeast. Founded in 2022, the company specializes in dampening maritime pump vibrations and noise. That can save up to 25% in energy consumption. Hydronauten won the 2025 Technology Prize.
Within the next 5 years, we will establish a fully automated production line here in Germany with distribution channels in the whole of Europe and overseas, because we believe that our technology will make a change.
So back to Kiana Frank. Kiana, tell us a little bit more about Hydronauten and why especially they are poised for success.
Yes, well, Hydronauten basically is a retrofit for pumps that you can just bolt on. So there's no need to rebuild everything. You have immediate payback, which makes it so interesting for VCs to look at. And they also just pick the right location because they're a spin-out from the maritime cluster in Rostock, which means they have potential customers right in front of their door. And they can have their ideas develop into projects and to rollouts quite promptly.
The company's innovation promises to save energy. Can we generally say that green tech is a trend?
Certainly. Although I think the venture capital side of things has shifted a little bit, especially over the last year. VCs are not just spraying cash, they're really looking for solutions that reduce costs, reduce energy, and have fast paybacks. And with green tech, it often is the case that paybacks happen at a future point in time because you need plants, you need infrastructure, you need hardware. And in times of high inflation rates, that makes it a little bit more riskier for VCs to invest in. But the bottom line certainly is that green tech is here to stay and that the capital is also here. It's just allocated a bit more selectively.
There are also these dual use scenarios. Can you tell us briefly about big deals in defense tech?
Yes, so dual use scenarios refer to technology that serve civilians as well as the military. And unfortunately, we live in times where this kind of technology becomes more important. And two startups that really stand out in this realm are Helsing and Quantum Systems. Helsing, in fact, just raised 600 million euros, and they developed a sense-making AI, which basically takes signals from radar, from video, from radio, to develop live images, which in the military sphere can be used for target recognition. Quantum Systems, on the other hand, they just raised 160 million euros. They're an AI and drone company based in Munich. And they originally started out in the agricultural sphere, so evaluating crops, monitoring harvests, and now they're deployed in the war in the Ukraine. So I think the bottom line here really is that dual-use systems really make raising capital a whole lot easier.
Finally, AI. How much room is there in that area?
I think there's a whole lot of room in that area, especially if we look at the industry that Germany really excels in, which ranges from manufacturing to health to energy. It's safe to say that Germany will not build the next biggest foundation model and compete with the USA and China, but really focus on applied and specialized AI, where domain knowledge really matters. And in our D-Hub ecosystem network, we have 2 hubs that exclusively deal with AI. So there's definitely a lot going on here, and I'm very excited to see what the future of AI holds for Germany.
Well, thank you very much, Kiana. There you have it. If you're looking for a location to found a startup or profit from an exciting startup ecosystem, Germany is the place. And Germany Trade and Invest can help you explore the possibilities at no cost because we're a government agency. Let's talk at gtai.com. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to continue revisiting my rather hairy past. Nice beard, dude.